What's up, ladies? Welcome to a new episode of Spiritually Me with Dulce Candy. I am so excited for today's episode. This is a reoccurring segment called Hola, Dulce, where I will be answering all of your questions, either submitted through my personal Instagram account or the podcast's Instagram account. I'll leave all of that information so you can submit your questions for future Hola, Dulce segments down below in the description bar. So before we get started, I have so many juicy questions and I can't wait to answer them, but I would really appreciate it if you guys left a review and subscribed to the podcast on Apple. It's a really great way to show support and love and appreciation to the podcast if you are enjoying it. I really love reading your comments. I make it a super big deal whenever I have a new review that's left on Apple, and I read it to everybody in the car. My whole family knows about your review because it's just really exciting. So I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who has been supporting, leaving reviews, subscribing to the podcast, tuning in to listen. This is really exciting, and I'm just so honored that I get the chance to connect with you guys through this medium here. So without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode. Welcome to the Spiritually Me podcast that helps you connect with that beautiful and eternal being within you. Whether you're new to spirituality or a seasoned practitioner, this is the show for you. As someone who has struggled with my inner voice and felt unsure of how to live a life that aligns with my soul, I know how confusing it can be. That's why I created this podcast, to help others find the clarity, peace, and purpose that I have found in my own journey. So if you're craving guidance, support on your journey towards spiritual awakening and divine connection, tune into this podcast for your weekly dose of inspiration. I'm Dulce Candy, your Latina sister, and this is Spiritually Me. This really great question came in. How do you navigate change in life when there is so much resistance? So now I have this really great book that I recommend to everybody. Like, I love it so much that I bought a copy in Spanish for my dad, and I gave it to him for Christmas because he's retired now. And I'm so proud of him, even though he has his own business. But I'm like, Dad, you got to read this book because it's one of the books that has changed my life so much. And so this book is called The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Literally the number one book that I recommend to anyone beginning their spiritual journey. This allows you to see the world from such a different perspective. Now, there are 7 laws, and each law also correlates with a specific date. So you can really practice the law. You can practice these laws every single day, right? But they also have this specific resonance that goes in with each individual day. I read this book as often as I can. And today in the morning, I woke up and I wanted to just be a little bit more intentional because I wanted to experience a certain kind of reality. And in order to be in control of your reality, you also have to put the intention of how do you want to show up? How do you want to react whenever you are encountering resistance, challenges, situations that are unpleasant? And I just got done being sick, like really, really sick. I got the flu over the holidays. Thank God I was okay by Christmas, but I got the flu. I honestly feel like I manifested that sickness because I was so overwhelmed with the amount of things that I kind of took on. And I did have to cancel my women's circle, but it is going to come back in 2023, guys. But I really think I manifested the sickness because the sickness was literally what I needed for me to do nothing for 2 weeks, like almost 2 weeks. I didn't create content. I didn't think about my brand. I didn't strategize. I didn't even work out because my body was just so sick. I couldn't get out of bed for 23 hours. Like, I slept actually for 23 hours. I've never done that before in my life, but I was that sick, guys. Going back to this really wonderful question about resistance, and today is Wednesday when I'm filming this, and when you listen to it, it will be Friday. But Wednesday's law is all about the law of least effort. Nature doesn't think about what it wants to do, it just is, right? A fish doesn't think about, oh, how do I swim? It just does. A flower doesn't think about blooming, it just naturally does. A tree doesn't think about sprouting and growing, it just does. A star out in the universe doesn't think about its own individual journey of expansion. It just happens, and everything outside the planets, everything is happening as it should. There is absolutely zero resistance towards anything in nature. The interesting thing is that a lot of us humans have forgotten that we are also nature. I was just listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he was also discussing, I think he was on with Neil deGrasse Tyson, I think. But he was talking about how humans are more closely related to mushrooms than mushrooms are to plants, which is why mushrooms taste like meat, right? Just like human flesh is meaty. Like I was saying, a lot of us have forgotten that we are nature. We feel like we are separate entities from the world and that we are completely separate and that whatever happens to a tree or a plant does not affect us. But yet that same force and energy, some people call it, the universe or spirit or God consciousness. It's also flowing through that plant, and it's flowing through you also. It's the same thing that keeps you and I alive, the same intelligence that is keeping a plant alive and doing its thing, right? Just like a baby, we don't have to tell our body what to do for this beautiful baby to grow just so perfectly and beautifully. Our body doesn't think about, the heart doesn't think about beating. Like there's just this intelligence within us. So it's about accepting. And that's actually one of the first components of the law of least effort is acceptance. Accepting life as it is in this moment. Accepting that certain circumstances, situations, people, events are supposed to happen exactly as they're meant to happen in this moment. For example, I experienced a lot of technical difficulties just setting this up. And I had already set the intention in the morning that I wanted to show up in a specific way with a lot more flow. I wanted to just go into flow with nature and the universe, because to go against whatever is happening right now is to literally go against the universe. The old me would have been very frustrated to the point that I would have been like wanting to pull my hair out because technology is just not working in my favor. But because I had set that intention, I was like, oh, okay, so this light that is not turning on that I need it to be on, it's not working because it's meant not to work at this moment. It's just what it is. Once you accept that life is as it should be, now you move into the second component, which is responsibility, taking responsibility for what is happening. That allows you to be very creative about what's happening around your environment with whatever situation takes place. So taking this experience with the technology, for example, now I learned that I need to be better prepared with the lighting. I need to check it the night before. I should probably set all of this up the night before so I'm not struggling the day of when it comes to filming. I should make sure that my equipment is up to date. If it's not, I should probably order some right now so that the next day that I'm filming, I have everything that I need. So now I have a learning lesson, and I learned that I also need to be more organized and respectful with my equipment. And even saying, I accept whatever happens, I accept whatever situation, I accept my life for how it is right now. I accept it. It's supposed to happen this way. It's supposed to be this way. Deepak Chopra says responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for your situation, including yourself. Including yourself. That was the big one for me, because we blame ourselves for what happens sometimes. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm very hard on myself, and I am working on that. But I'm very hard on myself. I never give myself grace. I never pat myself in the back. I never feel like what I do is enough. Or, it's a really big thing that I'm struggling with, especially even when I was sick. I felt guilty for being sick and being in bed for 23 hours. I felt like, why am I not strategizing? Why am I not, thinking and creating and working on my business? Because there's so many things that I want to accomplish. Why am I sick? When in reality, I feel like my sickness was a blessing because it allowed me to actually take the break that I deserved. The third component of the law of least effort is defenselessness, which means that your awareness is established in defenselessness and you have relinquished the need to convince or persuade others in your point of view. So before I go into the very last component of the law of least effort, which is being defenselessness. I am going to be starting to add these kind of new little nuggets of inspiration towards the end of every podcast episode if I do get like a divine download. And these are just going to be moments of inspiration where I had kind of like an epiphany, an aha moment, a paradigm shift, and I just saw the world in a different way, and it just really made a lot of sense for me. So this is a really exciting way because I learn things all the time, and I'm always super excited to share all the things that I'm learning. So moving forward, we're also going to have this little segment at the end where I will be dropping my little nuggets of inspiration, okay? Something that really inspired me for the week, really motivated me, and really allowed me to see the world in a different way. So this one goes hand in hand with the last component of not being defensive when it comes to defending your point of view, where you stand in life. That's such a waste of energy. And I was watching this really great interview with Michelle Obama for Revolt. She just launched her new book, which I have not read yet, but is on my to-be-read list. And she was talking with other incredible women like Kelly Rowland, Angie Martinez. She was answering the question, if they go low, do we still go high? Do we still go high when people can be very pressing and you want to feel like you want to defend yourself, right? So she said that she still has, and this is Michelle Obama, okay? She still has moments where when people come at her in a very negative way and say hurtful things towards her, her family, or her husband, and they are very public people, you can just imagine how many hateful people gravitate towards them like that also. She has her moments where she'll call up her good friend or a family member, and yeah, she will like go low and curse people out. And I love that because that is so relatable as a human. When you have a public platform, you are a leader. You are in a leadership position, and whatever you say does affect your community. So your message and your choice of words, it's very important. Even when someone attacks you online and bullies you online, even if you have to be the one to show what grace looks like, show what grace can look like. Even if I have to show you, this is what grace looks like. About a few months ago, I published some new content here on this channel, and I was very open and honest about my own spiritual journey, what I believe in. Honestly, oversharing. And that's something that we'll discuss in another podcast episode about oversharing. Not everybody needs to know all these personal details, and not everybody deserves to know. But I did overshare because I had the mentality that this is my community. You know, I want to open up to them. I want to share what my spiritual journey has been looking like, and how I've been starting to see the world in a different way, and the different levels of consciousness now that I meditate and all these things. And I started to open up about my beliefs, and I got viciously attacked by a lot of people on the comment section of my YouTube channel. And I felt very defensive because I was not expecting that, but that is what I attracted and I brought into my life. And so I uploaded a video and I started to pretty much defend myself, and I was not my absolute best in that moment. So I should not have uploaded that video. And even Michelle Obama said, acting out of your emotions is selfish. That's selfish to act out your emotions in a public forum. That's not the right thing to do, in my opinion. But I did that. I didn't have that awareness then, so that was me. And I acted out of my emotions and I was defending myself. I was like, how could people say this? Like, people are crucifying me for what I choose to believe in. Like, the thoughts that flow through my mind, people find that very, just not good, I guess. And so the mistake that I did there was to publicly share my emotional reaction to getting bullied online, and then going down to their level also and defending myself and being like, you don't know me. You don't know me. Like, how could you say that? You don't know me. And that's such a waste of energy, because that didn't create any more positive energy for me. That didn't create any positive energy. That created ugly, negative energy. just me defending myself created more resistance, more pushback. And Michelle Obama taught me to show grace, because my audience, the people that I actually connect with, my actual community, not people who, are just, maybe they're new to my channel and they don't know who I am and they hear something and they disagree with me and they just attack me and they bully me. Not those people, but my community. What do I want to show them? As a person in a leadership position, how do you want to show up? What would your highest version of you, how would she show up? How would she respond to trolls, to bullies on the internet? She would not. I need to be seeking to understand, well, why do you think that? Instead of trying to get people to understand me and my own personal beliefs and get people to see my own point of view. So yes, that was a really big lesson, and I learned a lot. And just like the law of least effort, I even take that experience of being bullied on the internet, and now I see those people as teachers. Absolutely, they taught me so much. And they really did help me better myself so much. The bullies actually helped me do that. So that was really interesting. I love that. Seek to understand, not to be understood. That is definitely my new motto. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I answered one question in one episode, which means we're going to have so much more juiciness because you guys asked some really incredible questions. I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to this podcast. Let me know where you listen to it. If you go on a morning walk, afternoon walk, if you're in the car, are you enjoying the conversation? I know when I listen to my favorite podcasts, I love the feeling of, especially when I'm going through some challenges or something like that, like I feel like I have a friend, because I'm listening to their advice, their voice. It's like I get so invested in them. And I really hope that we start to build that connection also. So if you're listening to this, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the love and the support. And I can't wait to see you guys on another episode of Spiritually Me. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a fantastic new year. This will be the last time that we connect this year, but the coming year, 2023, we're bringing all new energy. And I just hope you guys all have a really incredible beginning of 2023. So until next time, have a blessed and beautiful day.